What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Dolphins Daily, your daily dose of Dolphins content with your boy Chris Kane. Let's talk about the Dolphins. So we're gonna start with the left tackle situation. We know Patrick Paul is gonna be starting this upcoming year, and outside of the Dolphins locker room and organization, not a lot of love, right? His pro football focus grade, not great. They're basing that mostly on last year, where he was playing out of position, and also they didn't really love him coming out of the draft initially. So it's not a perfect formula, but they have their own opinion, right? However, Teron Armstead has been very outspoken. Like, Patrick's ready, he's doing his thing. And Patrick himself, to his credit, has also been kind of talking the talk. Y'all know, I like people talking the talk in the offseason because it's very easy when you're like 12-1 being like, nobody believes in this. Well, now you're talking because you're winning. Saying it before it happens means you're putting more pressure on yourself. If you didn't believe in me before and I say, I believe in me and I'm going to be good, and then you go out and prove you're good, you get all the applause for that because you believe in yourself, you bet on yourself. Because if you start talking big now and then you play poorly, woof. Woof. It comes down from, you said you're going to be a Pro Bowler, all Pro Bowl. And then it's like you can't really say anything because you were hyping yourself up and then you didn't perform. Patrick Paul is out here talking. He said, I'm built for this. My whole life I've been waiting for this. When you start talking like that, saying I'm built for this, that's almost I'm built different. And we all know if someone says I'm built different, that means I'm one of the ones. That's not I'm good, I'm going to try to fill in and help the team. I'm built for this. I'm one of those ones. Just, hey, sit back and watch. And when you start hearing people talk like that, yeah, that's them saying I'm about to put on. I'm putting on for my city, putting on for my team. So Patrick is talking like that. I'm here for all of it. I pray he backs it up because a lot of people thought we should have gone left tackle in this draft. A lot of people didn't believe in him in the first place. They thought we should have gone free agent left tackle. Again, second round pick, high currency for it. But I like it because he's putting some action behind that, right? Last year he was 332 before the year. He thought he was a little bit out of shape. He's cut 12 pounds so far. He could probably cut a little bit more if he wants to. We don't want to get too skinny. You don't want to be, barely 300. But he's 320 now, but like he's in better shape. Cardio shape. Again, he's 6'7", so he can spread that weight around and not look like he's like overweight or whatever, but he's already cut down weight, looks a little bit quicker. He's more confident. And again, as he gets more reps, he will get better. You got to think last year, he wasn't really getting reps. Teron played a lot of last year. And you can come in when I'm tired, maybe. But getting second team reps, getting reps at different positions, that's not the same thing as this is you. You're going to play this position every day. Every day, every practice. And I'm sure there'll be plays where he'll get beat and there might be some leak footage and, oh man, Patrick Paul gets abused by Jalen Phillips. Okay, fine. Get all that out your system. Just get it out your system. Get it out your system. And then when we get time for the season, you'll be ready. The fact that he was on the team already last year, I think is good because he was already kind of going against grown men. If he had just come out of college now and we just plopped him into it, he's dealing with 18, 19, 20-year-olds. Now he's dealing with people with mortgages, with kids, people trying to make money, and we know DNs are one of the higher paid positions in the league. So you're going against some of the best athletes in the world. Now, you've been doing that for a year already. Now you kind of know, where was I not good? I wasn't good getting out of my stance. I wasn't good with my hands. I was maybe too leaning. Like I was, he knows what he was doing wrong. I'm looking forward to it. I believe in Patrick. I've told y'all this before. I didn't believe we should have drafted a left tackle in the draft. I thought it was weird that we kept talking about it. You just drafted one. So I like the fact that he's being more vocal about what he can do now. And he's putting the pressure on himself. He's putting a target on his back. And hopefully he doesn't get shot. Now, Reed Blankenship is a safety for the Philadelphia Eagles. And he is a good NFL player. Not a Pro Bowler, not an All-Pro, not a world beater. I think Cooper DeJean is already better than him at that position. Which is no slight. Cooper DeJean was awesome last year. But I have this thing. If you do the thing you said you were going to do, or like if you win and then you talk smack, I got nothing to say to you. I ain't got nothing for you. You won. I know people are like, oh, you should be, don't be a sore winner and don't be a bad sport. If you won and you point to the back of the jersey or you say I'm him and you do all this like bravado, like when Cam Newton was scoring touchdowns and doing a Superman chest, never had a problem with it. Not once. When I see you do a front flip over two linebackers and then do this, yeah, okay. Hey, you jumped over two people. I saw you drag three guys into the end zone, right? So, Philadelphia picked up Vic Fangio, right? And he was the Dolphins DC before. Things did not go well. Season wasn't great. It wasn't all on Vic. Some of it was just awful injury luck, right? We've been destroyed with injuries on defense lately. Bad injury luck, but also Vic is an old school kind of guy, right? He might talk to you some kind of way, you know, get a little spicy with the mouth, talk a little something, something. These guys don't want to hear that. And the old school kind of guys, they do what they do. They're not here to coddle you. They're just, this is my plan. This is what I do. The Dolphins had a bunch of injuries. We had some young guys on defense. We had some guys who weren't accustomed to being coached that way. So it didn't get well received on the team. But also, we had some of our best defensive players get hurt. So we don't know how the system would have worked had we had a full arsenal for the season, right? So it became this thing where he's been this great DC everywhere with this team and that team and this team, and then he comes to Miami and it's not good. Is he loses a step? Then he went to Philadelphia and they had one of the best defenses in the league, and then he won a Super Bowl mostly because the defense was great. So then it looks like Miami's the outlier, and Reed, who again played for Philadelphia last year, took to podcasts and other radio type publications and just had a couple choice words, mostly bigging up Vic Fangio, but got to take a little shot at Miami. He said, "I've never had a problem with him. Whatever was said in Miami, that's their locker room. Our locker room is completely different, I believe, in my opinion. We got the guys that like to be coached and like to be held accountable, and obviously that shows on the field." Now, that little held accountable thing, again, unnecessary, like in a vacuum. But again, they won. So I can't say much to them. I don't know if the issue was the Dolphins players didn't want to be held accountable. I just think that this day and age in players, they don't want to be taught to a certain way. And again, when you're not winning, then that talk, it gets worse. It sounds like it's coming a little bit harsher when you're not getting results. When you're the third corner and you're like, hey man, I'm not really supposed to be playing right now, but the top two corners is hurt, it's a different thing. Philadelphia's defense was also unreasonably loaded at every position. They had all pros and Pro Bowls all over, up and down the field. They basically are the Georgia Bulldogs plus like five other guys. It's a ridiculous defense they have over there. And so, yes, I'm sure Vic Fangio's defense works perfectly when you got Jalen Carter wrecking stuff, when you got like Zach Bond over here doing his thing, when you got Quinn Mitchell, and like it's too much. It's too much. They had so much talent that, yeah, it's fun to play defense when a four-man rush is getting pressure. You're in the secondary just being like, you want the pick or should I get the pick? How you want to play this? Yeah, it's great playing defense. It's really rough when your two best DNs are out. You're getting no pass rush. Quarterbacks are back there just, you're in the secondary just getting abused. Like, hey, this guy's run four different routes in the secondary, and y'all still haven't got to the quarterback. Philadelphia, 1-2, up, sack. The guys in the secondary back there like they're in the outfield, throwing sunflower seeds at each other, having the time of their life. It's a different game. So I understand why there may be a difference in the locker room. And again, Philadelphia's team in general just seem to have a different disposition. I think Jalen is a big part of that. Even the coach Sirianni is a little bit more of a serious, like kind of hard edge guy. Miami Daniel's a chill dude, and Fangio and him are literally opposites. Like old school, this how it is. Mike is like, hey, maybe it's a different way we can do this. We don't know. And I think the juxtaposition between the coaches was a big deal. Also, the personnel was a big deal. So, Reed's talking spicy. I know some people are like, why is he saying that? Blah, blah, blah. Honestly, I got to be a non-fan here. They won. So you say what you want. And if we win, then we can say what we want to. I've seen a bunch of hypothetical Jonnu Smith trades, and some of them don't make any sense at all to me. Meaning, like, I still don't get the Steelers pick. That doesn't resonate. We've done a bunch of stories on it. I don't get it. What does actually kind of make sense to me, though, would be if we can't come to a contract extension situation, him being traded to a team like the Carolina Panthers. Y'all know I'm actually high on Carolina this year. I think Tet's going to be very good. I think Xavier's going to take a step up. Y'all know I'm a Bryce Young guy. And to fortify their team even more, having an explosive, really talented tight end to really make that offense go, I think you got something. Now, The problem would be what the compensation is. Because what I was seeing was the Carolina Panthers giving like a 6th round pick and Tommy Tremble. Tommy Tremble's a tight end at Carolina. Not great, serviceable tight end, more blocking threat. I'm talking 2, 3 touchdown receptions a year. Not some high level dude. Not a bad player, just not really amazing. But I would prefer just getting a higher pick and you keep Tommy. It's like we don't lowball my pick and then give me a tight end that I don't really want. I'd rather just take a flyer with a rookie or a 2nd year tight end who we don't really know. Even a guy from the practice squad, I'd rather take a flyer there and then give me like a 4th round pick than a sixth and a player that I don't really care for, right? I think that works a lot more for Carolina because I think if they build that team around Bryce, they can actually win. The defense still has some question marks, but offensively, especially if Brooks comes back and ever gets healthy, I think Chuba's good. I think they can do a lot. I think Jonnu fits perfectly on that scheme. Um, that makes a lot of sense to me from Carolina. Now they have to give up some picks. I think if they can give up a 4th round pick, because I think at this point, 3rd and 4th round picks are like they're still pretty valuable. Those are guys that should start theoretically. Again, John New's playing for he wants money. Carolina has money actually, so the money thing works for Carolina. They've gave some money to JC. They given some money to I think one of their old linemen, but they have money to spend, so they can actually pay him the money he wants to get paid, and he will start, and he'll be with an offense that should be emerging in a division that's not amazing. The Dolphins don't have the money now. Now we could get the money after a Jalen Ramsey trade, if Tyreek gets traded, if they decide to restructure somebody else, there could be some money made available. But I don't think we have the money right now to give him what he wants. But I do think he wants to stay. Carolina, awesome city. Charlotte, awesome city. I think good organization on the way up. Young coach, young quarterback. If we were going to trade him, he would be out of the division, which I think is good. I don't want to trade him to the AFC and have to play him in the playoffs. We trade him out of the division, out of conference. It's a good situation for him. They would have to come up with at least a 4th round pick. If you give me a 4th rounder and Tommy Tremble, then I might take that. But ideally, we want to keep John New. But if we are going to trade him, I do think trading him to a team like Carolina makes a lot more sense than a team like Pittsburgh, who, again, I think have 2 tight ends that they can play. I know Parnham got hurt, but he was their 3rd tight end anyway, so they already had 2. I don't, I don't get it. I think it's just them trying to be in the media. But I saw the trade scenario. I thought it made some sense, and we'll see how this whole situation unfolds. But as always, guys, thank you for tuning in to Dolphins Daily. We appreciate the love and support. Thank y'all for the likes and subscribes. We'll see you next time on Dolphins Daily. Peace.